Hi everybody, this is Barry Schwartz from the Search Engine Roundtable. This is the October 9th, Friday edition of Search Buzz Video Recap. I'll try to make this as quick as possible. It's been a long week, been sick, so we'll get started right away. So like I said, it's been a long week. This week was SMX East 2009. It was a really, really good conference. Probably one of the better ones I've been to in a long time in terms of quality of content and intimacy, in terms of the people there and how all the chatter going on and how much was shared. We had covered about 32, 33 sessions. I'm not exactly sure on the exact count. I'll have to count them up again. Over the 3-day conference. Some really good information came out of that conference. There's a lot of quality posts, live blog coverage. We had several live bloggers help me with the coverage. Justin Davey, Marty Weinberg from Aim Clear, Shira and Avi Walensky from Pro Media Corp, Carrie Morgan from Strike Models, Brian from BEUSSERY.com, great blog, Deborah from Alliance Link, she's like the link queen. They all helped with the live blog coverage. Again, we covered about 33 sessions. Couldn't have done it without them. The last day I actually was sick. I had fever, so I didn't even show up, and Carrie and a bunch of bloggers came in to cover the sessions that I was supposed to cover. So thank you very much, guys. I know I appreciate it. I know the whole community appreciates all the live blog coverage. If you missed it, we have a post that recaps all the different blog posts that we covered with the live blogging using our Cover Live feature on October 7th at seroundtable.com. So like we do at the beginning of every month, we do a recap of a Webmaster World thread that discusses the different changes going on over at Google. So the overall theme of that thread, at least earlier this week, was that basically, let's see here, Google. Some people are saying Google's moving more towards the caffeine update. They expect to see it soon, where the caffeine index becomes the main index. We had no confirmations from Google that that's happening yet. There's a lot of discussion about the Google file system too. See how that's going to play an impact on that. It's also discussing how people are noticing supposedly that Google's giving more weight to keywords in the file name and the domain names. New pages are ranking higher quickly, and some people are having problems this past weekend to access the actual Google properties like Google Web Search and stuff like that. The major topics we discussed over the past month, which I usually talk about in this thread, I give a recap. I told you how Google updated the Webmaster Verification Tool process. Google named what I call deep links forum site links. Google had a search image update. Google Hot Trends is now included in the Google search results. There was a lot of controversy over a post about linking to affiliates. Should you do it or not? Google says refer spam does not hurt you. Google came out with parameter handling, which is a duplicate content filter helper in Webmaster Tools. Google also said that your pages don't have to validate to rank well. Google Base is now included in YouTube video demos, which is pretty nice. Google Base is now Google Merchant Center also. Google also said longer domain name registration does not increase you. So if you have a domain name and you register for 5 years, it's not going to help you. Maybe the older the domain might help you. They didn't say that, but they just definitely said that if you renew for 5 years versus 1 year, it's not going to make a difference. Poll we said 75% feel that Google loves the keywords and URLs. And there was a Google sitemap bug that we covered. So that pretty much covers the past month over at Google. And the different changes that happened at Google. One of the big pieces of news that came out of SMX East was that Google said they're coming out with by the end of the year, they're coming out with a new system for the Canoklio tag to do cross-domain Canoklio tags. So basically, Canoklio tag is a way, what you can do now with it is basically use it internally in the site to say this page is really a duplicate page of this page, so that you can tell Google to do a 301 redirect without actually redirecting users. It's basically a hidden 301 redirect only for search spiders. What webmasters wanted was a way to do that across domains from www.domain.com to www.example.com, 2 different domains, to say this domain is actually a duplicate of that domain. So Google said they're going to come out with the support for that over the course of this year, sometime at the end of the year. This was the big news. Some people are nervous about it, some people aren't. Should be pretty useful. I think Google will do this in a very secure fashion, so I'm not too worried. So there's a thread over at Google Web Search Forums where I spotted somebody complaining about a search result not coming up and not showing the White House result, whitehouse.gov, for a search result that came up. They said Bing came up with it, but for some reason Google did not show the proper result. So Google's representative said, hey, we actually just fixed that result based on a fix we had, and now that result that you want to come up in the number one spot is now coming up. So I went ahead and tweeted that Google has basically hand changed the results specifically for the White House because it was a White House thing, and obviously that blew up and a lot of people were tweeting about it. Matt Cutts came in and said it wasn't a fix specifically for that single query, but it was a fix that they actually were fixing it before that person even posted. And two, it fixed not just the White House site, but it fixed a lot of different sites out there. So it wasn't a specific fix for a specific query or a specific site. So a lot of discussion about that. I personally trust Matt. I don't think he would make that up, but there are a lot of people who don't. So you can make whatever up you can make up your own mind whatever way you want. We want to read more about this and the specific details. We have a post, the last post on October 8th at sdroundtable.com. Many Google AdSense publishers are having problems logging in. The first problem started, I think, October 6th at night, October 7th. And I think it's related to different things. We have two different posts on it, one October 7th, one October 8th. One is a migration loop, and one is just a problem with people logging in general. I believe Google has made a change to the login screen, so now it should be fixed for most people. If you are still having problems or you want to learn more about this problem, go to our October 8th post at sdroundtable.com. Google's trying to be really, really minimalistic, and what they're doing is testing a homepage that actually just shows the Google logo and the Google search box. There's no Google search button, there's no I'm feeling lucky, there's no links on the bottom or on top. It only fades in after a few seconds of you being on the homepage. So if you first go to Google and you're in this bucket of tests, being a test bucket, you're one of the users that see this, what you see is the Google logo first with this Google search box where you enter the query, but that's all you see. After a few seconds, up comes the other features. Google has confirmed this test. Personally, I think it's ridiculous. I don't think it's real. I don't think it's something that Google should stick with. I think it's crazy, in my opinion. But obviously, I'm not Google. I'm sure Google has doing a lot of tests on it, and they're going to see if they think it's useful or not. We have pictures of this and a video of this on October 6th. This was first reported by TechCrunch. Other big news on a small scale is that Yahoo announced at SMX this week that they no longer support they no longer use the meta keywords tag. Obviously, Google, Microsoft have pretty much never used the meta keywords tag. It's that tag that nobody really looks at. But in the Ask the Search Engines panel at Tuesday, on Tuesday at XMX East, during the Q&A session, Chris, the senior director at Yahoo Search, confirmed that they no longer use the meta keywords tag. He specifically said they stopped using it a few months ago. Danny Sullivan of Search Engine Land asked him, why don't you let anybody know? Chris basically shrugged his shoulders like it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal, you're right. Most people don't even care about the meta keywords tag. I'm sure Yahoo didn't even use it that much in their quality rankings. But now Yahoo doesn't use it at all. It's good to know for a lot of reasons. For legal reasons, obviously for telling your clients not to bother with it. So we have a post on it at sdroundtable.com on October 8th. More big news from XMX East is the last session of the day, CSS Ajax Web 2.0 and SEO. Google's Bruce Johnson and Catherine Probst from Google announced that they are trying a new proposal for web servers to participate in, webmasters to participate in, to allow Google to index Ajax. In a sense, it's really some type of cloaking, but we're showing the same content. What they want you to do is, what the problem with Ajax is, every Ajax page could technically have one single URL with lots of different content on it, based on how you generate that content, but the URL pretty much stays the same. What they want you to do is invoke a pound sign with a keyword phrase, plus show the search engine a pound sign with an exclamation point and a word at the end to actually show Google content or what's behind that. So you're not going to show Google the Ajax, you show the content, and they'll invoke that with a headless server state. Personally, I'm not that technical. I kind of understand what they're saying, but I wouldn't be able to implement something like this. You need a programmer to do that. If you want to learn more about how this works, and obviously this is not available today, but they want this to be available in the future. They want other search engines and servers and webmasters to get on board. So you want to read more about this, we have a post on it on October 8th at seroundtable.com. Also, on October 8th, I did a post based on what I found at Google web search forums. Somebody complaining that, you know how iGoogle has these different themes? People can make themes and put them in a directory. So somebody made a theme called No Obama. This theme basically has the President Obama hanging from a tree with Confederate flags on both sides of him. Obviously, this is a very racist type of thing, and Google probably did not want to let this in, so people reported it, and I think it's gone by now. I could double check in a second, but it's pretty. I have a picture of it on my blog on October 8th at seroundtable.com, and as you can imagine, this is very, very poor taste quality. I believe, it looks like it has been removed, so it's no longer there, which is great. I have a funny story to tell you. I did post about this on Twitter and on my blog. And Twitter automatically gets posted to Facebook, my Facebook account. And for some reason, somebody called me yesterday, and they're like, "Did you make this No Obama thing?" And they started yelling at me on the phone pretty much that, how can I make such a theme? It's, obviously racist, and it's hateful, and it's criminal almost. And they started yelling at me on the phone. I'm like, well, I didn't make it. All I did was write about it. I didn't make the post. I didn't make the theme. I wouldn't do something like that. And she was going off about how can somebody make something like this? I said, I didn't make it. All I did was write about it. Well, it says on Facebook that you wrote it. I said, I posted about it. It might say Rusty Brick. Posted about it. So it's funny how things on Facebook, people on Facebook don't fully understand how the web works, but it's sad that something like this could have been posted in the iGoogle directory, and to see things like that happen. If you visited the Google homepage on a few days ago, I believe it was October 7th, you would have noticed this barcode logo. Basically, it was the 57th, I believe, anniversary of the U.S. Patent Office actually granting access to this as an actual patent, the barcode as an actual patent. So Google wanted to commemorate that by making a logo of a patent. And if you actually scan that logo in plain text, it came out to be Google, spelled Google. Some people thought, hey, what happened to the logo? It's all stripes. Something's wrong. What's going on? Something's wrong with the Google logo. It's really was a doodle that Google wanted to commemorate the 1952 U.S. Patent Office when they actually issued a patent for the actual barcode. We have more pictures of this and discussion about this on October 7th. Okay, that's it. Thanks for listening to the Search Buzz Video Recap. My name is Barry Schwartz from the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com. This is the Friday, October 9th edition. Again, I apologize for my voice. I'm a little bit under the weather. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully, guys, we'll see you next week. Everyone have a great week.